Welcome to the Oshkosh Area School District Board of Education regular meeting. It is August 24th, 6 p.m. Are we in compliance with open meeting laws?
Yes, we are.
Will you please take the roll?
Carlin.
Here.
Eliason.
Here.
Evans.
Here.
Garner.
Here.
Herzog.
Here.
Lumberger.
Here.
Olmsted.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business tonight is a public hearing on initial resolution to issue bonds for energy efficiency projects. I have to read the whole thing, so with apologies, here we go. Exhibit A, notice to the electors of the Oshkosh Area School District, Winnebago County, Wisconsin. Notice is hereby given that the school board of the above-named school district, at a meeting duly called, noticed, held, and conducted on August 10th, adopted a resolution entitled Initial Resolution Authorizing General Obligation Bonds in an amount not to exceed $21 million and calling a public hearing in connection therewith. Said resolution was adopted pursuant to the provisions of Section 67.056A(a)(2) Wisconsin statutes to authorize a general obligation bond borrowing in an amount not to exceed $21 million for the public purpose of paying the cost of energy efficiency and capital improvement projects at district buildings and grounds, including safety and security upgrades, HVAC and control improvements, roof, window, and door repairs, and replacement and acquisition of related equipment, the project. Copies of said resolution are on file in the district office located at 215 South Eagle Street, Oshkosh, Wisconsin 54902, and may be inspected weekdays, except holidays, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. The school board will hold a public hearing on August 24, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the boardroom of the Central Administration Office located at 215 South Eagle Street, Oshkosh, Wisconsin 54902, for informational purposes only regarding said resolution, the project, and the proposed general obligation bond borrowing. Section 67.056A(am)(1) Wisconsin statutes provides in part that a referendum is required on the question of this borrowing only if a petition is filed within 30 days after the public hearing signed by at least 7,500 district electors or 20% of the district electors voting for governor at the last general election, whichever is the lesser. If no such petition is filed, then the resolution shall be effective without a referendum dated this 10th day of August 2016 by the order of the school board. Okay. So do we need to see if somebody is here, or what do we do next?
Well, Jim has a presentation.
Okay, so we're going to start with the presentation.
He's going
Okay.
to keep it brief, but he should probably do a presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The purpose of this presentation is to provide a high-level overview of the proposed scope of work that we had discussed during the last board meeting. At the last board meeting, each of you had received as part of your board packet a FIM, which was a list of projects, facility improvement measure, rough order of magnitude, and I believe also all of you received the slides of my presentation, which explained in varying level of detail what was going to be done at each particular building. And that really comprised the entire scope of what we were looking for as part of this energy exemption project. Again, to date, we have Oshkosh Area School District has invested $45 million in the energy exemption project that began in, I believe, 2013 and 2012. With the state of Wisconsin, it has been beneficial to the Oshkosh Area School District in that we've been able to take care of deferred maintenance projects that become much more energy efficient, whereas we would not have been able to have afforded to repair those particular projects before funding those projects anyhow. What I have created is a brief summary of all the information that you have had to date. I've just pulled them together into some general categories. All of this information, again, is in the FIM list that you had received during the last board meeting. You'll see that most of the projects are mechanical HVAC in nature across Carl Traeger, Tipler, Webster Stanley, and West High School. You will see 3 of the areas have fire alarms associated with them. Just as a reminder, the reason those 3 facilities have fire alarm upgrades is because of the significant amount of mechanical work that we're doing is going to require us to upgrade our fire alarm system to support the enhanced mechanical systems for that particular building. Roofing system upgrades, again, that is broken down in the FIM. We have 8 different buildings with which we hope to do roofing replacements on, 32 roof sections in total, and that is to continue our capital improvement plan. All of those roof sections were indicated as part of the presentation on the 10-year capital improvement plan and can be found on that plan as well if you're looking for more specificity. And the last item is windows and doors. That was West High School, and we had a brief discussion on what is the overall solution for that particular building. We had explained at that time that the 3.9 was a replacement cost with the existing structure intact. However, we understood that there may be better methods, and we were also going to engage, I'm going to engage in a facilities audit over the course of this winter. Perhaps coming out of that audit there will be more discussion that'll move us in a different direction. But at one point or another in the next couple of years, we have to at least address a very specific problem with regard to the glass and the glazing and the doors in that particular facility. So all those projects combined equal $17.3 million. As you had read earlier, and just in summary, Wisconsin Act 32, what we are seeking is the ability for us to purchase energy or to fund energy efficient projects, including payment of debt service on bonds or notes to finance a project. The result of the project is the avoidance or reduction in energy costs or operational costs. The project is governed by a performance contract and entered into under State Statute 66, which governs performance contractors, and that the bonds or notes to finance the project, if any, are issued for periods not exceeding 20 years, which they would not. That said, that is a general overview of what we are trying to achieve with this particular phase, which would be phase 9 of the energy exemption projects for Oshkosh Area School District. Are there any specific questions regarding scope or any of the information that was provided during the last board meeting that I could provide this board today?
Just want to remind you the cost impact was about 22 cents. That could vary because when I had our financial advisor do an estimate, they estimated 18 million. This is going to be just shy of that, but their estimated impact was about 22 cents. And she provided, as you recall, she provided like 6 different scenarios, whether we make a debt payment already this year or we start our first debt payment next year. So that might vary a little bit, but I think the ultimate impact is around 22 cents.
Okay, thank you.
Could you just elaborate on that a little bit more? When you say the impact is 22 cents, is that 22 cents per thousand?
Yes, 22 cents per thousand. It will increase our levy.
So it's not a total of 22 cents, but
22 cents
per thousand. Thank you. Okay.
Per year.
Per year.
Per year, right.
Thank you.
And that's the average over the life of the 20 years.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
So then how the process goes is with the public hearing tonight.
Yes.
And tomorrow starts the 30-day
Yep.
petition period. And then if we go the whole 30 days without anyone petitioning, at the second board meeting in September, we'll come forward with 2 resolutions, one to approve the whole project, and then
Yep.
one to approve the contract with.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so now it looks like there are guidelines for public comments to be established by the school board president, but because there isn't anybody here from the public, do I need to go through all of that? Okay, I'm going to skip that then. Is there anybody here in this room that would like to make any comments about this public hearing? I don't want to not ask. Okay, great. So I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to adjourn that portion of the meeting. Do we need to call roll to adjourn? Okay, so please call the roll.
Carlin.
Aye.
Eliason.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Herzog.
Aye.
Knapperger.
Aye.
Olmsted.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, great, thank you. Oh, we got to do it all over again. So Are we in compliance with open meeting laws?
We are.
Oh, great. Will you call roll again?
Carlin.
Aye, or here.
Horizon.
Here.
Evans.
Here.
Turner.
Here.
Herzog.
Here.
Hamburger.
Here.
Olmsted.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Wonderful. Board and administrative reports. The board president does not have a report tonight, so we'll move right into the superintendent's report.
Right. Bear with me, I'm battling a terrible cold, and if my voice cracks up, it's not emotion, it's just cold. So, the superintendent's good news report for August 24th. Congratulations to the Oshkosh West High School students and staff for being named in Newsweek's list of America's top high schools for 2016. The school is ranked among only 500 schools across the country that does a stellar job in preparing students for college. The school is also named one of the top schools that are beating the odds with more challenging economic environment to prepare students for college, and a great job to West High School. Roosevelt Elementary students will start back in their new school year in a building that has a new HVAC system and new window panels. We should say that does not mean it has air conditioning. That it has new heating system, and the window panels that are have been given the building a new appearance, as well as its nice brick exterior, and that terrazzo still looks very nice on the floor. The raised garden beds at Roosevelt Elementary School look absolutely great. Check out these tomatoes, flowers, cucumbers, and zucchini. Thank you to Growing Oshkosh for adding the mulch to the garden to make it look even better, also to preserve moisture. And 11 families, OASD staff, and Mercy Medical staff celebrated the beginning of the Mercy Medical's Project Search internships with a picnic at South Park Shelter on August 9th. It's a wonderful beginning for a collaborative partnership between the Oshkosh Area School District, Mercy Medical Center, and we're excited for this new opportunity and program for students. And lastly, the very short list yet of superintendent's activities, as in the next 3 weeks we will fill in lots of pieces as we move on. So with that completes, Madam President, the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you. Are there any other reports from committee chairs? Barb.
I'd like to give a report on the Policy and Governance Committee, which met on Tuesday, August 16th. We had several policies that we were reviewing. One of them was a new policy brought forth by Mrs. Piron, Director of Special Education. This was a policy on independent educational evaluation. It was, let's see, Neola, which is our go-to place for templates for policies, did not have a policy related to this, so Ms. Piron was proposing the past policy again be adopted into the new policies because it allows parents who are unhappy with the findings of a parent-approved evaluation to have an independent person do the evaluation. And the committee approved the policy as presented and moved it forward, and you'll see it on tonight's list of resolutions. We also considered a new policy on the safe feeding of students with swallow dysfunctions. Again, Ms. Piron brought this forward. It's being proposed for adoption as it is an important policy from a safety standpoint for several students in the district who have swallowing dysfunction. And that one was also recommended to come to the board for tonight's approval. There were about a dozen policies. You'll also see those listed on the agenda tonight under policy resolutions. It's number 6. These would be updated policies with compliance officer name changes. The former policies included the name of Michael Nault as the HR director, and that's been changed to Lori Myron and Julie Conrad Mosher. So those are the primary changes in that group of policies. We also discussed the responsibilities of the superintendent. The superintendent job description had not been totally updated since 1997, so we wanted to bring that up into the 21st century. Central office staff, and including Mr. Mack, had an opportunity to review that policy, brought it to Policy and Governance. We made a few tweaks, And we've recommended sending this to the full board at the workshop on September 21st, which is a special meeting, so that the entire board can provide input. We feel that this is important enough, since one of the chief functions of a board is to hire and to supervise the superintendent, that all of the board should have an opportunity to provide input. Further, that job description then is the basis for developing an evaluation instrument, which would follow. Another topic that day was the drones policy, or a drones policy. The committee discussed the need for a policy on drones, particularly from a safety standpoint. Mr. Mack is going to be in contact with UW Oshkosh to check their policies, since several sporting events are held on their fields. He's also going to check with area school districts on their policies. The activities coordinators will be invited to that September meeting, along with the Director of Curriculum and Assessment, Deputy Superintendent, and possibly some principals. The September meeting discussion will include the intent of the school district to own and operate drones, individual/private ownership and parent rights, and 3 categories of people we concluded are affected by a drone policy. One would be the students, one would be staff, and one would be parents. We also talked about the policy being able to address both inside and outside of the school buildings. And a suggestion was made to add drones to the privacy policy, since some drones can be equipped with cameras, which could be a privacy issue. We do not have a date yet for a September meeting. We're trying to coordinate some schedules, but as soon as that is decided on, we'll make that public. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other reports from committee chairs? Okay. We also have a report from the August 10th listening session. No? I don't have it.
I don't have it, but I can summarize it very
Okay.
quickly.
All right, let's do that.
We were approached by 2 leaders of the local teachers organization requesting that the board potentially reconsider the 0.12 increase that is the CPI index increase in compensation, asking that the board consider a 0.88% more to support getting at least 1% increase for teachers on their compensation increase. And that was explained that the reality is that when we do have a final number, which we will have dollars that were not expended in this previous year's budget, that we were operating using fund balance this past year, that it's not a surplus. It is simply when we have those final numbers in, we will prove that maybe anywhere up to maybe $800,000 we did not spend. So our actual use of fund balance will be less than anticipated, which is good news. And but their request was to simply adjust their compensation by 0.88%, so as to make a more, as they would describe it, more respectful number, that being 1% as opposed to 0.12%. It should be noted that all other bargaining units were settled at the 0.12%, and that that other action that would alter that would create a set of expectations that all other employee groups would be considered in a similar fashion. The group understood that. I've had conversations with the union president since that time. He continues the concern, but they understand the board's position on the issue.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, is there anybody that would like to address a non-agenda related issue? How about an agenda related issue? Okay, so consent resolution agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background materials on each item or has discussed at a previous meeting. These will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member would like to discuss any item, it'll be pulled out of consent agenda and will be voted on separately. The board, we are going to pull 4. Do we want to, is there anybody who would like to pull any other items? Okay, so the board will consider approval of 1, minutes of the July 20th, 2016 regular board meeting. 2, minutes of August 10th, 2016 regular board meeting. 3, bills payable. 5, strategic plan metrics. 6, updated policies with compliance officer name changes. A, 1422, non-discrimination of equal employment opportunity. B, 3122, non-discrimination and equal employment opportunity. C, 4122, non-discrimination, equal employment opportunity. D, 1623, Section 504, ADA, prohibition against disability discrimination in employment. E, 3123, Section 504, ADA, prohibition against disability discrimination in employment. F, 4124, Section 504, ADA, prohibition against disability discrimination in employment. G, 1662, employee anti-harassment. H, 3362, employee anti-harassment. I, 4362, employee anti-harassment. J, 2260, non-discrimination and access to equal educational opportunity. K, 2260.01, Section 504 ADA, prohibition against discrimination based on disability. And L, 5517, student anti-harassment. 7, rental contract between OESD and the Boys and Girls Club of Oshkosh. 8, new policy 2462, independent educational evaluation, IEE. And 9, new policy 5336, safe feeding of students with swallow dysfunctions.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, call the roll.
Herzog?
Aye.
Herzog, aye. Lemberger?
Aye.
Lemberger, aye. Olmsted?
Aye.
Olmsted, aye. Carlin?
Aye.
Carlin, aye. Eliason?
Aye.
Eliason, aye. Evans?
Aye.
Evans, aye. Garner?
Aye.
Garner, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, so back to number 4, resolution 4A. Be it resolved that the Oshkosh Area School District Board of Education approve the appointments, temporary appointments, resignations, retirements, and salary schedule as filed with the Secretary to the Board of Education.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Madam President, I had asked that this one be pulled. This is such an exciting time across this district and the state and the country as far as school years starting up and new staff members coming on board, beginning their careers in their various and sundry districts. But it's also a time to recognize the contributions, in our case tonight, of 2 individuals who have contributed to the growth and learning of our students and who have decided to begin a new phase of their lives called retirement. So I just wanted to recognize Therese Muskamp, an ID teacher assistant from Oshkosh West High School, and Donald Nicholson, a supervisory teacher assistant also from West High School, who have contributed to the growth and learning of our students and thus to our community.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Lemberger?
Aye.
Lemberger, aye. Olmsted?
Aye.
Olmsted, aye. Carlin?
Aye.
Carlin, aye. Eliason?
Aye.
Eliason, aye. Evans?
Aye.
Evans, aye. Garner?
Aye.
Garner, aye. Herzog?
Aye.
Herzog, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, there are no individually considered resolutions, so request for future agenda items? Anyone? How about announcements?
I do, after board members have any announcements, I do have several.
Okay.
I just wanted to, I guess, publicly state how well the convocation was done today. I thought it was inspiring. I thought it was, I was ready to go teach a class.
Yeah, me too.
And for folks like me who are not as gifted in public speaking as some people are, I sit in awe of what you do when you're up talking in front of those people. So, good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Lori Myron, our Executive Director of Human Resources, has supplied to me kind of an update as well as an opportunity for another commercial on seeking employees. Just to give you a sense of how busy Human Resources has been this summer, I don't have it broken between licensed and non-licensed employees, but we employed 154 individuals to date today. That's a large number since the start of the hiring season back in April. Right now we have 17 teacher vacancies, and some specifics on those. We are particularly looking for a tech ed teacher, which is in very short supply in the state of Wisconsin and nationally, a teacher for visually impaired, and 2 positions that I know that we just received the vacancies because of last-minute resignations, but we're still looking now for a kindergarten teacher and a 5th grade teacher. And Those are significant. The kindergarten and fifth grade should not be too hard to find. I would think we'll be able to deal with that. But if there are any folks watching this board meeting, we are looking for additional staff. In addition, we have some 20 non-licensed positions, paraprofessionals and the like, vacancies that exist, so not requiring a degree or a license. And we would hope that 8 days from now, when we start with students, that we would be able to have those filled. So please be in contact with Human Resources within the school district to get directions as to apply.
Great, thanks. Okay, well, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We're having so much
No,
fun.
we don't want to go yet.
Please call the roll.
Olmsted.
Aye.
Olmsted, aye. Carlin.
Aye.
Carlin, aye. Eliason.
Aye.
Eliason, aye. Evans.
Aye.
Evans, aye. Gardner.
Aye.
Gardner, aye. Herzog. Herzog, aye. Lauer.
Aye.
Lauer, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, great, thanks.